Hello from the Wine Miser. I'm here today at Sells Beverage World in Elmhurst, my favorite boutique liquor store, with locations here, of course, in Elmhurst, also in Addison and Villa Park. Each location is staffed with knowledgeable, friendly, helpful department specialists. So do yourself and me a favor, stop at a local Sells Beverage World, meet with a specialist, and go home happy with a good recommendation. So today, we're talking Pinot Noir, that thin-skinned wine that naturally has lower tannins. And tannins, by the way, are that compound in wine that gives rise to what some people call astringency or bitterness. It turns some people off of wine, others enjoy it. It's a big, wide, wonderful world, and you just kind of got to roll with it and understand your own likes. Tannins, by the way, are found in the skin, the stems, and the seeds of wine grapes. Now, the stems are often removed before the grapes are crushed, and the seeds are separated before fermentation. But to make red wine, you have to have the juice in contact with the skins. And the thin skin of the Pinot Noir, at that point, becomes a blessing. So Pinot Noir is also known as an international variety, meaning it can be grown all across the globe, given the right conditions. So today we're tasting 3 different Pinot Noirs, and the first one we're going to taste is from Italy, this Bottega Veneta Pinot Noir from Trentino. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, wait a minute, Italy? Then that's Chianti. Maybe that's Barolo. Look at the color as I pour this into the glass. Look how light it is. Italy, I should tell you, has pretty close to 2,000, that's not a misprint, that's 2,000 indigenous grape varieties. Only about 400 are normally in commercial production. But because of the various weather conditions, and if you want to call it microclimate zones in Italy, okay, Pinot Noir is not native to Italy, but they certainly grow it and have been doing so for a long, long time. So we take a look at the color there. We see it's lighter. That's a reflection of the thin skin. This definitely has an old world style to it. It's from Trentino, as I mentioned. It's a mountainous area over there where the vines are growing in cold climate conditions on hillsides at higher elevations. That's excellent for Pinot Noir, by the way. Grapes are hand-picked from vines grown on glacial soil. So expect an intermingling of black cherry with vanilla and a whispered hint of licorice on this wine. Now, speaking of Burgundy, our next wine is a 2019 Jean-Claude Boisset 100% Pinot Noir. Average age of the vines is 35 to 40 years of age, so they yield concentrated flavors in the grape. Grapes are hand-picked. They're sorted the second time at the sorting table in the winery, and stems, of course, are removed, as I mentioned before. The juice is aged on the lees. The lees are spent yeast cells, and for 7 months, which adds a creaminess, a texture to this wine. And it's in lightly French oak, lightly toasted, French oak. 2019, by the way, was a great vintage, and the wine is peaking at this point. This is not a wine you would want to store for the next 10 years. So don't miss this one. Expect notes of wild strawberry and raspberry with a hint of pepper. Let's get back to our own shores with this 2022 La Crema Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir. And the first thing I want you to notice is look at the difference in the color. You see how darker that is? How richer and deeper the color? The ripeness of the grape here is evident in the darker color. The mouthfeel is richer, heavier, juicier than the previous 2 wines, indicating a new world style. So expect notes of red cherry with an interesting hint of cranberry, which kind of perks up your taste buds for Thanksgiving across the table. It's a great Thanksgiving wine. The people, I should mention, are constantly asking me, what is my favorite wine? And I always reply with the same answer. All palates are personal, and all those pellets are correct for the people that own them. But I'm always quick to add that if you enjoy wine, you owe it to yourself to explore different options and to expand your pleasures. So here's my best advice. Visit a cells near you, meet with the specialist of the cordial liquor, beer, wine area, and go home happy with an old favorite or a new friend. And if it happens to be wine, maybe we'll meet at Elmhurst. One more thing, and then I promise I'll stop yammering, all right? Pinot Noir, as I said, is probably my favorite for Thanksgiving, but I'll toss in a plug for Gewürztraminer. That comes from Alsace. Cells got lots of it from Alsace and also domestic from California. And also a Riesling maybe from Alsace for people that want white wines would be appropriate. And even a Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Franc, by the way, is one of the parents, along with Sauvignon Blanc, of creating Cabernet Sauvignon. So as for today's selection of Pinot Noirs, let me just add this. Salute, à votre santé, and cheers from Cells.